This week, I am celebrating 9 years as a business owner, which feels so crazy to say. I started my first business, which was a destination wedding planning business in 2017. It actually still runs today, but I'm not the one doing the destination wedding planning anymore, but I still own the business. And then I have this business, which is blog writing and Pinterest marketing for other business owners, which I started in 2020. So almost 6 years of doing that too, which is just wild. I have a few non-negotiables, and today I'm going to share 9 of them. Some of them are tangible things that I do, and some of them are mindsets or like deeply rooted beliefs I have, or I'm working to believing in my core because I think that they're that important as somebody who has been in business for a long time. So thank you for celebrating 9 years in business with me. I hope you get so much out of this video. Again, I already sort of introduced myself, but if we haven't met yet, I'm Kara and I do blog writing for SEO and Pinterest management for other small business owners. Let's get into it. So first, I don't ignore the woo mindset work. Listen, if you're new to my world, you might not know this, but for the most part, I would say that I operate in more of my masculine energy. I love to feel like I'm getting things done versus like feminine can often feel like sitting, waiting for things to happen for you. I know that's not what it is. Please don't come at me in the comments, but for the most part, I am like, what can I do to make it happen for myself? If this is what I want, like, where's the checklist? And I will say, I feel like this is also partly because I think people are using ChatGPT with their goal setting. But if I hear the word alignment one more time, I'm literally going to die. I feel like people use this like mindset work as an excuse to not get stuff done. That couldn't be me. However, I do think mindset work is really, really important. And I do attribute oftentimes if I'm having a problem with business, that there is something going on with my mindset. So as somebody who's been in business for 9 years, I absolutely do not ignore it. Number 2, I don't/can't obsess over response times. I wish that I could. I feel like as a destination wedding planner, I sort of got used to this because I would often be emailing resorts in like Mexico and the Caribbean, and it would often take weeks to get a response. So I think I sort of normalized that in my head. I will say my clients that work with me often say that I respond very quickly. I aim for 24 hours. I give myself 48 hours. However, sometimes if something requires a long, thoughtful response, it will take me a minute. It will take me a few days. It will take me sometimes a week. I will not rush a response. And I also won't derail my day to give a response to something that is not urgent. If somebody wants my feedback on something, you're going to get my full attention when I give you that feedback, but will it be within, 20 minutes of you sending the email? No. I very, very rarely hit inbox zero. And if I do hit inbox zero, it isn't for long because people respond to emails instantly. I feel like inbox zero is such a scam, but we'll save that for another day. What I want to say here as a non-negotiable is I just cannot obsess over response times. I value high quality responses. I value the work getting done on time when I say it's going to be done. But in terms of I respond to every Voxer message, email, DM on Instagram, I don't. I wish I could, but I just can't. And I think if you do prioritize these really fast response times, you are deprioritizing something else, which is often like the deep work of actually getting projects moving forward. 3, I absolutely do not allow for any client drama in my life. And when I say that, I want to be clear. Sometimes I do have client drama. A client will be unhappy about something. A client will have misunderstood something. It obviously doesn't happen that often, but it happens to all of us. And I wish we would be more honest about that in the online space. But again, save it for another day. But when there is something like that, I don't take it home with me. If I did take it home with me, which I used to, so hear me when I say this, this is like coming from a place of someone who used to cry. I have made myself so upset over clients being upset with something. This is especially when I was doing destination wedding planning and there was so much out of my control all of the time. And oftentimes I had to deliver news that I knew couples would be upset over that I had no control over. This is just the nature of the industry because you're dealing with airlines and changing schedules and things like that. I would literally make myself sick over it. So as I enter my 9th year of business, I am just so clear that if I'm going to take client drama with me, home with me, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I might have a quick vent sesh with my bestie, but then I'm going to move on with my life. I won't even let it wreck my workday. If somebody gives me feedback that hurts my feelings or that I have a tendency to feel sensitive towards, I'll take the feedback and then I'll accept it or reject it. It doesn't mean I'll verbally tell the client like I'm rejecting this feedback. However, I like look at what they have brought to me that is different than what they expected or what they wanted. And I'll be like, okay, did I properly prepare them? Is there something I could change about my process that I want to change about my process? Is this something other people are feeling, or is this, and I won't let myself get in my head about this, but I'll just ask objectively, like, is this something that's been brought to me before? And then I will decide, am I changing something about my process, or am I saying, this is part of running a business. You can't make every single human happy. And the longer I'm in business, I will say, oftentimes when people are unhappy, it is usually not 100% because of the work that you delivered. Oftentimes there is something beneath the surface there that will come up to the surface if you give it time. Not always, but if it is an extreme negative reaction, it almost never has anything to do with you. Number 4, I never skip repurposing a podcast episode or YouTube on my blog. I'm a blog writer, right? But I, like you, will sometimes run out of time in my week to write a fresh blog post for my website. However, I have a podcast channel that has a new podcast episode every single Tuesday. I have this YouTube channel where I share videos every single Thursday. And you can always head to my blog at thecarareport.com/blog and you will see a full blog post there. I'm not talking a couple paragraphs of show notes that I like repurpose as a blog. That doesn't work in my opinion for SEO. But these podcast episodes, these YouTube videos, they take a lot to produce, right? I outline them. I do research often. I'm recording them. I'm handing them off to an editor. I'm paying for them to be edited. I'm posting them. I'm promoting them. There is so much work that goes into it. So I just absolutely will not skip the step that I believe brings the most results, which is reworking it into a blog post that is going to bring traffic from Google and ChatGPT to me. I really believe that getting more traffic to my website or more eyes on my business is one of the most important things that I do as a business owner. So when it comes to a non-negotiable for me as a business owner that runs 2 businesses on very reasonable hours, I just have to say, like, this is the most important thing I do, and I will never skip it. Number 5, and this is another controversial one, I don't want money from people who don't want to pay me. I feel this to my core. I have been in business for so long. I've hired the business coaches. I've worked with the consultants. I have said, every client that comes and hires me for blog posts and Pinterest management, I am upfront with them that these are long-term strategies that typically take 6 to 12 months to see an ROI if we are being very straightforward with one another, which we are. But I'm not going to lock you in. I'm not going to make you pay me for 6 to 12 months. There are valid reasons to lock clients into contracts. Those first 2 months when I'm learning your voice, learning your business, getting you into my ClickUp or project management tasks, that is extra time that I need to account for that I'm not necessarily being paid for if I don't lock you into a contract. However, so I appreciate that not locking clients in doesn't always make sense on paper, right? And it might be a money mindset issue on my part. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge that. However, I have found that anytime anyone was reluctant to pay me and I felt like I had to convince them, or they were resentful, or they didn't feel like it was working, or I didn't get their voice, or whatever, there are so many reasons why people will not want to pay you. Okay, I don't want them to pay me then. Okay. It doesn't feel good to me. It impacts my energy for the project, which I hate. I don't feel as excited to get them results as people I genuinely think are excited to pay me. There is a whole book on this called Happy Money. And one of the ideas it brings up is just like when money is exchanged hands and people are happy to receive it and happy to give it, that's where the magic happens. Okay. I want you to hire me and pay me and be like, I love paying Kara to write the blogs. I love that it's off my list. I love that I'm going to get results from Google. I love, XYZ, like exactly how I feel when I'm paying my YouTube editor. I'm so glad I don't have to edit my own YouTube videos. I'm so happy I found someone reliable who gets my brand and does a fantastic job. Like, this is how I feel when I'm paying people on my team. And that's how I want you to feel when you're paying me. And I want you to bring that same energy into your own business too. The second that it doesn't feel exciting for you to, and I mean, sometimes we have to do things that don't feel exciting to us in our business. But if you are feeling like you have to pay me, or like you've already paid me for 4 months, you might as well stick it out for like 6 so that you can safely say that you like quit in the 6 to 12 months. I don't want that. Like, I think you deserve better than that. And I think that I deserve better than that. So this is something that I feel like goes really against the industry norms, because especially as a marketing agency, I'm constantly told that I should be getting 3 month, 6 month, 12-month contracts. And I don't want to. I even ask clients to give me 30 days notice if they want to cancel, and I don't even enforce it, because if you don't want to pay me, I don't want your money. Number 6, I practice taking radical accountability. So as the great Taylor Swift would say, I keep my side of the street clean. Sometimes this comes naturally. Sometimes I have to work on it. But for the most part, whenever I'm feeling like, I guess back to a client giving me bad feedback, or anytime I feel any sort of friction. So like if something isn't working the way that I want it to, or my team does something that wasn't the way that I liked, or my client misunderstood anything, I'm always bringing it back to myself. Like maybe I wasn't clear enough in the training. I didn't have systems to support that. The training was a 40-minute Loom video where I was rambling the whole time. How can I be more clear with clients next time? How can I add that to my systems? I know I mentioned it to the client 9 months ago, but perhaps they need a refresher. Whatever it is, I'm always like, if I'm not getting the outcome I want, which is 100% happy clients and the best results and, all of the beautiful things that we chase as entrepreneurs, if I'm not getting that, what can I do to change that? And it's always, 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 what can I do to change that? I have to be honest, just between us, the longer I'm in business, the more often I see business owners who just like refuse to take accountability, and it's always blaming other people. It's always seeing like this person didn't do what they were supposed to do. Like, whose fault is this? This person isn't doing XYZ. Like, people aren't mind readers. Okay. And yeah, there are good people that you're going to hire. There are people that you don't want to hire as much. Working together, like any sort of relationship, right? When two humans are involved, it's not going to be perfect. And the more you can like practice taking radical accountability, the results you'll see in your business are absolutely reflected of how you act around this. Like, I just feel like you cannot run a successful business blaming everyone around you. 7, I don't baby my clients, and I believe to my core that they are smart human beings. And I want to back up, because this is like not as relevant to me anymore, but it was. And I feel like if you're in the earlier stages of business, you're going to relate to this so much. And this mindset changed my life. I, as a blog writer, I'm going to use myself as an example, but really like look for how it relates to you too, because I'm sure it does. Imposter syndrome doesn't miss anyone, right? Imposter syndrome won't miss you. If you're feeling like, I don't know if my clients are getting results. One, I would say it is sort of your job to make sure that your clients are getting results. Okay, we'll talk about that in another video. We won't worry about that right now. However, this comes back to radical accountability. I think your clients need to take that too. So I remember this is like maybe a few years ago now. I'm tracking the blogs and Pinterest stuff, right? So what can I see? I can see how often they're being seen, how often people are saving their pins, how many times people are clicking to their website, either from Google or from Pinterest. That is the data that I have access to. However, while my clients care about that stuff, what they really care about is getting clients from these platforms, right? They want to be making sure that these platforms have an ROI. I can't 100% measure that because I don't have access to like their financials. So what are you going to do? It is easy to feel like, what if none of my clients are getting results and they just like aren't smart enough to realize it? Okay. When I say that out loud, that sounds absolutely crazy, right? I work with some of the smartest business owners. They are prioritizing blogging in a world that is promising them fast, flashy results from Instagram and TikTok and all the places, right? I know that they're smart, and they're smart enough to decide what they want to invest in. And I'm so grateful that they are choosing to invest in my service, in what I'm promising them, which is a more sustainable business model. Like, what if all my clients are just paying me because they feel guilty about not paying me, or that they want to be my friend? That is another crazy thought, okay? People like their money. There's nobody that I am like friends enough with that I would pay them monthly to be their friend. Like, it can feel when you are like sitting in your office all alone and you're not getting feedback. Like, I'll be honest, oftentimes with blogging or Pinterest, people will tell me when they get their first lead, when they get their first customer. Then it's crickets, right? Then they are running their business. They are busy. They're not updating me every single time they get a new client that came from Google and Pinterest, right? It sounds crazy when we say it out loud. It's like, if I say, I'm not sure if what I'm doing matters or is working, it's like, then again, I'm speaking to the people who are, offering a service in integrity. I feel like I have to say that. Like, you do know what you're doing. You're not like smoke and mirrors, like deceiving people. I don't think anyone watching this video, especially this far into it, is. But like, believing that your clients are smart and can monitor an ROI for themselves, and you can empower your clients enough to know that they can come to you anytime they want to talk something through and know that I'm there for them. Like, believing that will change your life because it's true. It sounds so crazy when you say it the other way. Like, what if none of your clients realize that you don't know what you're doing? Like, really? If you're working with smart people, that just like is not the case. They would know if you don't know what you're doing. Trust me. Number 8 is I'm choosing my heart here. I don't think that everyone should be an entrepreneur. I'm pretty open about that. I think being an entrepreneur is incredibly challenging mentally. It is a mental game unlike anything else you could do. I was talking to my friend who is a social media manager the other day, and I was like, do you consider your job stressful, right? Because sometimes I look at social media and I'm like, you have to post X times a day. Clients are like never happy with the results. Not her specifically, but I feel like in social media, we all feel like our posts should be going viral and they're not bringing enough leads and algorithms. I can think of so many reasons why I would consider that a stressful job. And what she said to me is she's like, no, one of my friends is like a pediatric surgeon. Like their job is stressful. Like I post on Instagram, and I think that that is such a good perspective because for me, I am not always a natural on video. I often push recording these videos to the bottom of my to-do list. If I'm being honest, I love YouTube. I want to be on here. I want to connect with you, but it isn't often like I'll wake up and be like, I can't wait to record a video. However, the fact that this is my hard thing that I have to do in my business, like, girl, there are so many harder jobs out there. There are so many more stressful jobs out there than the worst thing that someone could say to me is like, I don't like the blog that you wrote. Like, okay, we can move on with our day. So at this point, so 9 years into business, I know what I'm doing and I can get the support when I need it. I'm resourceful. I can figure it out and I can ask for help when I need it. This can't be that hard. I'm choosing my heart. I'm choosing this crazy roller coaster emotional mindset journey of entrepreneurship. And not everyone's going to choose it, but I did. And that means that I'm choosing this hard and it's worth it to me. Number 9, your friends and family won't get it. And that is just okay. Okay. I no longer try to explain it. Okay. I have spent years trying to explain it. Why I'm so stressed about negative client feedback. That is like a tiny bit negative. Like, how many times have we seen those memes that are like, oh my God, my client said looks good, period, instead of, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever been written, right? Like, I will not explain to people who are not an entrepreneur the things that we go through as entrepreneurs, okay? Because they won't get it. And that's why I think it's so important to build yourself an online community. I have a few online business friends. I don't have a million. I have like 3 or 4 people that I could like go to and box and vent, stress out and spiral or whatever I need to do to move on with my day. And I think you need that too because your friends and family just likely will not be that for you. I also think, and this one again, a little controversial, but especially in the early days, I feel like it's really easy to equate your identity with your work and you just become your work. And I get why it happens. It's all consuming. It's exciting. It's incredibly rewarding, right? Like you're working all the time and you're seeing these wins and it can easily become the only thing that you do. And I get it because I have done that and I've been there. However, one thing that I know is that it is so important to build a life for yourself outside of work, no matter how much you love your job. I love my job. Honestly, like I will be so honest with you. I'm recording this on a Sunday because my partner is taking our son to music lessons. And I'm like, wow, I get an extra hour and a half to work on my business over the weekend. I love, love, love what I do to my core. However, if I didn't do anything outside of my work and my business and obsessing over it, I would not have anything in common with my friends that have been my friends since like kindergarten. I wouldn't have anything in common with my partner or my family. I just finished saying that friends and family won't get it. So if it is your whole personality and the only thing that you think about, you're not going to have anything in common with those and you're going to want that. Okay. When you hit 9 years in business, you're going to want that. So it is so important to have a life outside of work and build something outside of work and still work really hard. This is not a channel of like work 4 hours a week and get your dream life. Okay. I work extremely hard during my 40 to 45 hours a week. And I just think that is so important. So anyway, I'm going to recap these 9 non-negotiables really quickly. Thank you for watching to the end. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. So number 1, I don't ignore the mindset work, but I don't use it as an excuse to not get stuff done. 2, I don't/can't obsess over response times. 3, I do not allow client drama into my real life. 4, I never skip repurposing a podcast or YouTube video as a blog post. 5, I don't want money from people who don't want to pay me. 6, I practice taking radical accountability for my life and my business. 7, I refuse to baby my clients or believe that they're anything other than smart people. 8, I'm choosing my heart. And 9, friends and family won't get it, and that's okay because I have a community online and a community offline, and building both is super important to me. Thank you so much again, and I'll talk to you next week.